Christy.
And we are
Homebrew
Murder Crew. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi.
This is your weekly microbrew. Now, traditionally, we don't really get into much ahead of these episodes. However, we obviously feel the need to mention and to recognize the tragedy that has occurred in Canada in the past week.
Yes.
And this month. So with that being said, we wanted to share that our thoughts are with our neighbors in British Columbia following the recent shooting. In times like these, words often feel inadequate, but we wanted to express our solidarity and keep the victims and their loved ones in our minds as we move through today's episode. But that being said, we aren't going to get into that any more than what we needed to say.
Yes.
It's fucking tragic. And I think both of us have been fighting tears since it happened.
Yeah. No, it's been tough.
It comes in waves and it's not even remotely close to what the people who experienced it
Absolutely
are dealing with. So
It's
with that
never
being said,
easy, so-
yeah. This might not be the time for you to listen to true crime.
Yes.
However, we're going to continue on, and we understand if you're not going to listen this week.
Yeah.
We respect that decision, and I think we both kind of battled with whether or not we should record this week or not. And we will also have kind of the same to say for our full length episode later on this week.
Yeah.
So with that being said,
what do you got for us today, Christy?
All right, my microbrew for you today. It actually harkens back to. I need to log in again. How is my? No. Fell asleep on me.
That bugger.
Okay, there we go. Okay, it harkens back to your parasomnia episode, which is like what, our first year of recording?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
There's so many episodes that come back to this episode of yours.
That was a good one.
It's a 3-parter, and it was like all 3 parts are so unique.
Yes.
Like you don't even know what is coming. You have to go back and listen. Anyways, we'll mention them in the show notes and everything. Yeah. But so tell me, Megan.
Yes.
Also, by the way, just so everybody knows, I sound nasally because the allergies are alive and well in the air this week, for me at least. I'm sure for everybody else experiencing the snow mold shit and everything.
Yeah. The weather in Alberta is so, like, in our area of Alberta is so, like,
we've been in
it's wild.
Yeah, we've been in the plus 15s for a while.
And we're going down to like minus 22 later this week.
20 centimeters of snow this week. Yeah.
And it really messes with your sinuses and with your head and your health. Like it's a.
And ever since I got pregnant, my allergies have blown up. I never used to deal with seasonal allergies, but I think it's a mixture of getting older and also the way that a baby changed my body.
Yeah.
But I digress.
Yes.
Megan.
Yes.
If your eyes are open, but your brain is still asleep, did you intend to commit a crime? Or
I know where you're going with this. This is wild. This is hilarious. Was this on your list?
Yeah.
Was it on your spreadsheet?
Yes.
Oh my God.
No way. How do you know? Do you know you know?
I think I know, but okay. So we actually...
I haven't even finished my sentence.
No. Okay, so this is a tough one because...
So then, did you actually commit a crime, or were you merely a ghost haunting your own body? And so
it's hard to say. Yeah. Like, I do believe that it's possible that that you could be sleeping and commit a crime.
So
and not know what you're doing.
Yeah. This is why I chose this one for a microbrew, because as much as I wanted it to be a full length episode, there was just not enough for me to pull other than like from the court case itself. And that just for me, that's not content that I want to cover. It's just like reiterating a court case. Anybody can go and find that. I mean, you can go and find this stuff anyways, but it's just harder for me to talk about passionately when it's just reading from script.
I'm trying to remember. I saw something about this. If it's the same case I'm thinking of, it came up on. Oh, I'm listening to a podcast called
there's a couple
strange, interesting. I don't know.
There's
the guy
a couple
does a YouTube channel.
Okay,
and it's one of the things that he talked about.
There are a couple cases like this, and I think I mentioned them at the end of this episode. But this is why I chose it to be a microbrew, is because there's just not enough of the case, like evidence wise, or like leading up to this, or like explaining who this person is before this happened, because it's just an anomaly, really.
Right. Okay. So anyways, I'll stop interrupting you.
No, it's all good. Actually, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Underneath this entire thing, right underneath on the floor. I can actually go get it, but it's like, it's under it's on the floor, but it's underneath. I've seen it before. There's a box of tissues.
Oh, I did see it. It's underneath your desk.
Yes, underneath your desk.
Oh, my legs are crossed. And I
just needed to
I'm crossing my legs. No.
I know it's not easy. I appreciate you. Megan. Is there somewhere? Thank you. Oh, you're the best. You're the best. You're simply the best. All right.
All the rest.
Sorry for any of you that are watching this on our Patreon. Patreon.com/HBM or HomebrewMC. Sorry.
Yeah.
Or YouTube, which what are we on YouTube anyways?
I thought we were a Homebrew Murder Crew on YouTube.
I think we are just Homebrew Murder Crew on YouTube, but I'm about to check Homebrew Murder Crew podcast on YouTube. So all of our microbrews are on YouTube. If you want to watch us, if you don't want to sign up for your free Patreon, that's fine. But anyways, I'm going to be dabbing my nose. So this is the central riddle.
Okay.
What I just asked you, which was like 40 minutes ago,
so
and to the point that my computer just
fell asleep again.
Yeah, fell asleep again. Went to the screensaver mode. So what I asked her, just if your eyes are open but your brain is still asleep, did you intend to commit a crime, or were you merely a ghost haunting your own body? Now, this is the central riddle of the Kenneth Parks case. Does that sound familiar?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
A tragedy that forces us to question where biological automation ends and human agency begins. So let's get into it. All right. So Kenneth Parks, a 23-year-old electronics worker and father in Pickering, Ontario, was under another Canadian case.
Yeah, it's wild.
I think they've all been Canadian so far this year, to be honest.
Mine isn't going to be.
Okay, cool. He's a worker and a father in Pickering, Ontario, was under tremendous stress, over the months leading up to May 24th, 1987. His life was unraveling, largely stemming from his enormous horse gambling debts. He had embezzled money from his employer, approximately $30,000 in 1987.
That's a lot of money in the 80s.
Yeah, to cover losses, a crime he was very obviously terminated for.
Of course, you could buy a house.
You can
buy
with that money
in the 80s.
I can buy myself flowers. Or new nose so I could breathe. So yeah, he was fired, obviously.
Yeah.
His in-laws were aware of this blunder, but they were actually supportive of him regardless. In fact, there was a dinner in their home that was planned that very evening of May 24th to discuss some possible solutions because they wanted to help him.
That's so nice.
I know. So despite the challenges and consequences that he faced, friends and family described him as loving, gentle, and devoted to his wife. He was especially close to his mother-in-law, who described him as a, quote, gentle giant, end quote. And although his relationship with his father-in-law was a little more distant, it was still a good relationship. And I mean, we're talking about like the late 80s. I mean, our dad's really ever very... What's that?
I wasn't alive then.
In 1987? When were you born?
1989.
Oh, right. 89. You're so young. You feel wise beyond your years.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That's really nice to say. Anyways, let's
It's not about me.
Thank you.
So, despite the challenges and consequences, like I said,
Yeah.
very close to his mother-in-law, still close with his father-in-law, but like their relationship wasn't as. I mean, have you ever watched that 70s show?
Yes.
Where Kitty's like, ah, and Red's like,
yeah,
it's not unheard of.
No, for sure.
But in the early hours of Sunday, May 24th, 1987, Kenneth fell asleep on the couch watching Saturday Night Live. Get it, Kevin?
Yeah, sounds relatable.
Kenneth, sorry, not Kevin. Kenneth, oh my God. So a man under immense pressure, exhausted and sleep deprived from the mounting stress, Kenneth entered into a deep, dreamless slumber, only to awaken and find himself in a completely different house with a knife in his hand.
Oh, no.
Staring at his mother-in-law's face.
Oh, yeah.
This would be a 23 kilometer or 14-mile journey that would consume the attention of criminologists for decades.
Yeah.
Decades. Am I right?
No.
While still functionally asleep, Parks rose, put on his coat, and entered his car. He navigated the busy highways from Pickering to his in-laws' home in Scarborough, a route he had driven many times.
Yeah.
Upon arrival, he used a key that they had previously given to him to enter the house. Inside, the horror unfolded with mechanical precision. Parks moved to the upstairs bedroom where his in-laws, Dennis and Barbara Ann Woods, were sleeping. Using a tire iron he had brought from his car, he bludgeoned Barbara Woods and then utilized a kitchen knife to stab her 5 times.
Oh my God.
He then turned on Dennis Woods, attempting to choke and stab him as well. Barbara, unfortunately, died at the scene from subarachnoid hemorrhage. But Dennis, sorry, I didn't mean to laugh at that. It's just that I was taking a second to pronounce it.
The word.
Subarachnoid.
I promise English is our first language.
Hemorrhage, but Dennis miraculously survived.
Oh, wow.
Park's first conscious memory was not of the drive or the attack, but actually of standing in a different house with a knife in his hand, seeing his mother-in-law's face.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah. In a state of profound shock and confusion, he fled the scene and drove himself to a nearby police station. When he arrived, blood-spattered and dazed, he walked into the building and told the on-duty officer, "I just killed someone with my bare hands. Oh my God, I just killed someone. I've just killed 2 people. My God, I've just killed 2 people with my hands. My God." Oh my God. I think it's repeating.
Yeah.
I just killed 2 people. I've just killed my mother and father-in-law. I stabbed and beat them to death. It's all my fault. End quote.
Oof.
It was at the station that police noticed a chilling detail. Parks had sustained severe injuries, including several severed flexor tendons in both of his hands. Yeah, likely from the knife slipping during the attack, yet he appeared completely oblivious to the pain, only realizing he was injured when he looked down at his hands at the station, when he was at the police station. So this high threshold for pain later required surgeons to repair the deep cuts and it would become a cornerstone for his medical defense. Excuse me. So to the jury and the public, the idea of driving 14 miles and committing a coordinated attack while asleep seemed ludicrous.
That's wild, but sorry, I just wanted to talk on this for a minute because I've been thinking about this since you mentioned it.
Okay.
And I just want
intervene.
There's been so many times, and this is going to sound really bad, but have you ever been driving down the street and you drive the same
it's muscle memory
every day, and you're lost in a thought or something, then all of a sudden you're like,
how did I get here?
How did I get this far? I was just way back there and now I'm here.
It's so muscle memory.
That'll I think is similar to the driving part of it, your muscle memory. And we talked about it when we talked about the case of, it was a Christmas episode. oh no, I can't remember their name. The couple that their son killed them, and the guy got up and actually like went through his morning routine.
Oh
And then
yeah.
collapsed
Yeah,
because he was they believe he was already dead.
He went to go get the paper.
Yeah, he went to get the paper on the front step while he was like bludgeoned to death. And when they like scientists and stuff were saying that they believed that he was already dead.
Yes.
But his brain just like got up and put him through that like morning routine.
Yeah.
Like obviously very different. Both of those are very different scenarios, but it just kind of like speaks to how
it's a testament to how the brain works.
Yes.
And under duress.
Yes.
And under like extenuating circumstances.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So the jury and the public obviously thought that this was ludicrous, that you could drive 14 miles, commit this attack and claim I was sleepwalking. However, 5 neurological and sleep experts, including the renowned Dr. Roger Broughton and Dr. Irvin, testified that Parks was indeed in a state of what they call somnambulism, which is like sleeping, but you're ambulatory.
Yeah. Like we all know that sleepwalking is a real thing.
Yes.
That is a real thing.
And when we did your parasomnia episode, I talked about my brother's sleepwalking. My brother, I only have one, but like how he sleptwalked. Do you remember when I told you?
Yes, I do.
That he would constantly sleepwalk to my room and try to pee on my head.
Yeah, try to pee on
He
your
never
head.
succeeded. My parents always caught him before it actually happened, but he was like, it was out and ready to go.
It's like his brain is like trying to get him to the bathroom, but for whatever reason, he always just goes right to your bedroom. But it's like the same. You said he did it multiple times, right? Yeah. So like that's crazy. Like he probably like in his head, in his sleeping state, he probably was like going to the bathroom.
Right.
Like in his mind, he was walking into the bathroom, and
I just don't know why.
But that's weird.
He thought my head was
weird, but
I mean, I guess I look like a fucking toilet, don't I? Just kidding. So sleepwalking is a parasomnia, as we talked about in your earlier episode, that occurs during the deepest stages of non-rapid eye movement, or NREM sleep, specifically stages 3 and 4. Experts explain that Parks was experiencing, quote, state dissociation, end quote, a phenomenon where parts of the brain, like the motor cortex, are awake, allowing for complex actions like walking and driving, while the parts responsible for rational thinking, like responsible for rational thinking, memory, and consciousness remain deeply asleep. So Dr. Irvin testified that during this slow wave sleep stage, the cortex was essentially in a coma, rendering the movements more reflexive than volitional. Which is crazy. And I don't know how you would, like, how can you attest to that when, like, you're not monitoring his brain during those actions? You know what I mean?
True,
like, But I'm so sorry.
It's just such a strange, like, this one is a tough case. This is the exact one I was thinking of when you asked me the question. Like, I don't want to say yes, but I don't want to say no. Because
it's hard.
It's so unbelievable. But like, there's certain aspects of it that I can believe. But like, to go back to the sleepwalking in your brother, like he was doing something that is like totally normal and part of a routine. It's not really normal and routine to like bludgeon someone to death or stab someone.
No, it's not.
So it's like,
but then you mix in not just like the ability to sleepwalk or that you have that problem, but also there's those extreme stressors, right? Those aggravating factors or mitigate. Oh, I don't know what they.
I mean, like I've had dreams where I've committed violent acts in my dream too, right? Like that's not a normal thing for me to do, but like it could be a mix of that.
Right.
Like weird. I don't know. This is a tough one.
So Dr. Irvin testified that during the slow wave sleep stage, the cortex was essentially, quote, in a coma, end quote, rendering the movements more reflexive than volitional. His defense highlighted several predisposing factors that made this kind of the perfect storm that made it possible. So number 1, Parks had a chronic history of sleepwalking and night terrors since childhood, and several extended family members shared similar sleep disorders as well. So now we're not just talking about like this is a historical event. We're also talking like genetically speaking, right? Number 2, the combination of extreme emotional stress, financial ruin, and acute sleep deprivation is known to trigger severe NREM arousal disorders. Number 3, Parks had an excellent relationship with his in-laws. Barbara Woods had even referred to him as her gentle giant. He had no financial or personal motive to harm them. You guys, I'm so sorry for how nasally I sound right now. The trial of R.V. Parks centered on the concept of, quote, non-insane atomism, end quote. For a person to be guilty of murder, the law requires both an actus reus, or a voluntary physical act, and a mens rea, or a guilty mind or intent. The defense argued that because Parks was asleep, his actions were involuntary. He was a, quote, somnambulistic robot, end quote. That's a very hard word to say, devoid of directing will. Crown attorney Kathy Mocha argued that the defense was ludicrous and suggested, again, suggested Parks must have known what he was doing, but blocked or blacked out the terrible events from his mind. However, medical testimony noted that there were about 35 documented cases of sleepwalking homicides worldwide at the time. Unlike insane automatism, which stems from a disease of the mind and leads to psychiatric detention, non-insane automatism is viewed as a transient physiological event. After 9 hours of deliberation, the jury acquitted Parks of all charges. After 9 hours, I feel like that is so quick.
That is so quick to like debate on a case like this.
Yeah.
Like I would want to go over this in like fine
with a fine tooth comb.
Yeah, because like it does seem ludicrous. But like I know that from what I remember about this case, like the defense put up a pretty good case.
Yeah, but I think
it's wild.
I think his father-in-law testified as well.
Yeah.
And we're about to get to that part here too. So he was acquitted of all charges.
Yeah.
The Supreme Court of Canada upheld his acquittal in 1992, ruling that sleepwalking was not a neurological or psychiatric illness and that Parks posed no continuing danger to the public once the specific stressors were removed.
Mm-hmm.
Following his acquittal, Parks returned to a life of quiet anonymity, raising 6 children and practicing good sleep hygiene. Good for you.
Did his wife leave him? Like, or is he still with the same wife?
No, I think,
They stayed together?
Yeah, I think so. Like, as far as after this, I don't know.
Wild,
the rest of his life or whatever. But yeah. So his case became so famous that it inspired the book The Sleepwalker by June Callwood. However, the case returned to the public eye in 2006 when he ran for a position as a school trustee in the Durham District School Board. That move sparked local opposition, and Parks eventually dropped his bid, though he maintained that the events of 1987 were a medical issue and stated, quote, has nothing to do with anything now. I'm practicing good sleep hygiene now, end quote. But I agree, maybe not the best. Maybe
you still took a life.
Yeah, that was a very controversial thing that happened. I think stick to
there needs to be some
the slow lane there
for your actions. Like people, like you, like regardless of the like the circumstance of which like a life was taken.
Yeah, exactly
by your hands. Like I mean, not like I'm not. It You got to understand that like.
Guilty or not guilty.
There's going to be some things in your life that you're just not going to be able to accomplish because of the fact that is a real thing that happened.
There's going to be you didn't have to face the criminal consequences of the actions that were involuntary as it was decided, right? 100%. But there are still actions that took place that caused a life to be lost.
Yeah.
And there's social consequences that are involved in that, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to link in our show notes to some other cases that are similar to this. I don't want to get into it now because I would, but I'm having trouble breathing. So I'm going to, I'm going to leave that for you guys just to check out on your own.
Sure.
The legacy of Kenneth Parks remains a benchmark in legal history. It stands as a stark reminder that while we believe we are the masters of our actions, the boundary between the self and the biological machine can sometimes dissolve in the depths of the night, which is fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
To understand. Like,
that is
fucking terrifying. Yeah, I do want to mention that although it's not in my notes, his father-in-law did forgive him and did stand up for him and did say like, no, there's no way that he would have done this. Like, we had such a good relationship. He had nothing to gain for it. Like, and he didn't blame him at all. And he still accepted him as his son-in-law.
And I mean, the fact that he went straight to the police station and turned himself in, like, I mean, it does, it like that. If you intentionally do something like that, you would try, like, I feel like you would be more likely to try and run, not like immediately be like, oh shit. Like, I do kind of I believe, I don't want to say this because I don't want like people to be like, oh, you were crazy. But like, I do believe that he wasn't fully aware of what he was doing. I do believe that.
But you also don't want to give people an excuse or an opportunity to use that as a defense, you know, in the future. But like, obviously, if you have motive, they're going to find motive. Yeah. In this case, there was no motive and he came clean and he like, so you have to put two and two together. And I think,
and the human brain is so complex. Yeah. And it is capable of a lot of things. Like I said, I can zone out while I'm driving and have no memory of like getting from point A to point B. Yeah. Or like there was times like even like when you're searching on like TikTok or something and you just end up zoning out and then all of a sudden 4 hours pass. Like I remember when TikTok first came out, I remember like I still am bothered by the fact that I lost 4 hours.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, what?
I lose. Do you know how much time I lost?
I feel like I watched 4 hours of videos. But I'm like,
do you know how much time I lost playing World of Warcraft when I was younger?
Right?
Oh my God. But yeah, and then like, not to mention, what was I going to say? So there's like, the mind as a whole is like a fucking fantastic thing. And like how long it takes for our mind to mold and develop. But there's people who can lucid dream. Yeah. There's, people who can control their dreams.
I can do that.
You can lucid dream?
I can lucid dream.
Can you lucid dream on command? Like, can you go to bed and be like, I'm going to lucid dream tonight?
No.
Or can you enter a dream and be like,
I'm fully aware of what's happening right now and I'm going to decide what happens next.
Every time you're dreaming?
Every time that I remember a dream, yes.
Okay. Really?
Like there will be like, or sometimes in the middle of a dream, it's like when you play a video game and you know how it has like that opening scene where it's like, it's part of the story. And then all of a sudden you're just like standing there and then you're like, oh yeah, like I can move now.
You're not an NPC.
Like it's literally like that for me sometimes where I'll just be sitting there and all of a sudden I'll be like, oh wait, like I'm conscious right now. Like I can decide what I do next in this dream.
Crazy.
Or like sometimes something will be happening in the dream and I won't like it. And I'll just be like, I want to change this dream. Like I don't want this to be my dream. Then all of a sudden, like I can become in control of it.
There's sometimes that like that's happened to me that I recognize that it's a dream and I can't control it, but I can wake up. I can wake myself up. Yeah. But I'm like, I don't want to do this. And like, I can wake myself up, but I haven't ever reached the point that I can control it.
Yeah. I can sometimes go back into a dream too.
Oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I wake up and then I have to pee and I'm like, that was a good dream. Yeah, I can go back into it. Which leads me to like, again, I'm going to, link or quote your previous parasomnia episodes, but like there's just so much discussion that can happen around this. Yeah. So we both love to hear your guys' input. Like,
absolutely.
What are your dreams like? Do you sleepwalk? Yeah. Have you sleptwalk? What do you know of it? What are your experiences with it? And then also kind of leads into what I'm researching now, which is the whole mall world thing.
See, lucid dreaming is on my list.
Yeah.
For an episode
okay.
to cover.
Perfect.
Specifically lucid dreaming because I can do it. Okay. I wanted to do it as a full episode. So if you have experiences with lucid dreaming yourself, please feel free to reach out to us.
Yeah. And that's my episode for today.
Thank you, Christy. That was That was great.
I'm sorry for fumbling on my words and my nasally voice is awkward. But I'm going to take a break now and we're going to come back and record our Thursday episode, which you guys will hear in 2 days. So
thank you, Christy. Thank you guys for listening.
All right. Bye.